Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Here is an update on the craft room. Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you a little update. It is, you know what, I don't know how long I've been working on it. We come in a little bit every day, or try to come in a little bit every day. Then of course, you know, we were out of commission a couple of days. So we shot a bunch video last night. Mostly with just us working, and we had gotten the floor cleared, but there was still, and it wasn't like I was hiding it or anything, but I still had a tote of craft stuff and a basket of craft stuff and a bag of craft stuff that was in the bedroom from before Christmas, which we knew we'd have to go through, which is one of the reasons we're trying to make so much room there. We've gotten the top of this cleaned off and the top of that one cleaned off. I actually don't even know if you can see what I'm pointing at because the camera's backwards. I don't know why I have the camera's backwards. Don't ask me, I don't know. So let me turn you around and show you what we've gotten done so far. May not look all that much different, everybody, but at least you could see the stuff on the couch. Hold on. So as you can see that we now have the 4 boxes, the 4 baskets on the top of the dresser. These 2 boxes are like magazine type file boxes that have our yearbooks in them. Jim's is in one and mine's in the other. Then this is temporary. These are temporary because I've mentioned that, well, these 2 still have decorative stuff in it, but I mentioned before that these boxes and this unit is from IKEA. They are a very specific size box. Like that basket that's in there, it looks like it fits perfect, but it's actually hanging off like an inch. And those are 2 of the half baskets from the Dollar Tree. I don't think I have any. I have some black ones. Hold on. They're like this size. You guys remember this size? It's the size just below the ones with the cover. I mean, the ones just bigger than the ones with the cover. So we just have 2 of them in there, and one of them is, actually, there is just one in there. It's my glues and adhesives, like craft glues and adhesives and stuff, which we're working on. We used to have adhesives in this box. No, we used to have adhesives in this box, and we completely emptied it out and created it into another Christmas box. So I actually have this red one, that red one, and then that wicker basket right now all have just the Christmas crafts in them, craft supplies, and I don't think anything else. Oh, the jars, I could show you on the video. I was creating these jars. Basically, one of you all had, look lovely. One of you all had suggested it. I actually asked if you guys had any ideas, and I've gotten some really, really fantastic ideas. But one of them was like, yeah. Somebody, and I'm sorry if I don't remember who, suggested like, oh, I use my empty peanut butter jars for storage. And I was like, yes, Jerry, that's why you've been saving 8,000 sauerkraut jars and cute little plaid tops. I've been using them in the kitchen for storage. Like I have all my baker's twine in one on the little counter and stuff. But yes, that's why I was saving them. I always wanted to have like my buttons in a jar, and I have 1 whole jar of silver buttons, 1 whole half jar of gold buttons, 1/4, a third of a jar of little buttons, but I also have 2 of those like button holder things from the Dollar Tree that I still have to add to that, so I'm okay with that. And then a half of a jar of pony beads. Don't ask me why. Everybody needs pony beads, right? I know. But I took in all of my recyclable jars in here, and I was like, yes, that's what you're going to use for storage. That's what you've been saving them for. What is wrong with you? So I'm on the way of doing that, and then I think that they're pretty cute, you know, storage wise. I mean, they're still pretty cute. We have one right now that there's just 4, and there's sort of one between each basket right there. See them? 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I had my desk cleaned off for the 37th time. But what I did was, you'd be proud of me, no more basket of fabric. Basket of fabric still exists. The basket of fabric, however, is just scraps now. Now, I have in my heart and head 19 different ways that I might want to store my scraps. However, I can promise you that that is going to be a project, because I want to make my scraps neat, which is going to sound crazy to iron your scraps. But if you guys are fabric people, you're crafters or you're sewers, you know that if your scraps are organized, you can really store many more, or anything really. Anything that's organized, you could store much more of it. Plus, I want to be able to like organize them. So like I have scraps left over from all of the wedding outfits from my wedding. And the plan for those scraps was to make a wedding quilt or wall hanging, because I didn't know exactly how much scraps I had left. So that was what the plans were for those. Now we're going to be married. We've been married 17 years, so maybe I get on it soon. But in all fairness, I've only not been working for a few. So, but in this is now my sewing projects basket, and I promised myself that that will, and I promise you guys that that will, projects will all be done by the weekend, and it is currently Wednesday. They aren't very much. One of them, the quilt, is, this was my very first quilt that I pieced together, and I didn't realize at the time that you should pre-wash your fabrics when you were quilting, because I was new to it, and I kind of like taught myself. I watched a couple of Nancy's Notions on PBS, and then I taught myself the rest. But I had different weights of fabrics and didn't pre-wash some of them, and then cut my salvages a little too close. So I'm just going to go back over them, and if you could see some of the things, the seams are, might wait there. Some of the things are coming apart here. So I'm going to just go top stitch over them. And then there's just a few things like, and there's some few things that I can't do, but then there's a few things like I'm missing a button on a really nice pair of pants, and 2 straps are loose off of nightgowns. Like that's, and oh, and Jim has a nice long sleeve t-shirt with a wolf on it that has like a hole under the arm, but Jim's shirts, he wears them until they wear out, and he wears out under the armpit. So that's one of these things that's always like, oh, sew these. But this one happened to be like a manufacturer's defect almost, you can tell, because it's like a brand new shirt. But anyhow, that is what I have there. So this is my one project basket, but by Friday, I mean by the weekend, I promised myself that this would be gone. All of these clothing items will be put away where they belong. And then this last bucket and that last basket and last bag will be done and dealt with. Now, what's on the couch, and I'll share with you now that's on the couch. On the very end of the couch, because it looks like, oh my goodness, what's happening here, right? But the very end, that red thing, that's an ottoman. The ottoman goes in front of the couch. We store it in front of the couch. I have a little on top of that ottoman, underneath those linens. On top of that ottoman, if you guys knew how far away I was pointing. On top of that ottoman is linens, and underneath the linens is the tray that sits on the ottoman to make it like a coffee table. And then this box right here is like a file box, and in that file box is actually picture easels and picture plate hangers and stuff, which I used to have like plates decorating my house all over before on the apartment in Westbury and stuff. But what I've come to realize at this house is that I don't have as many. So we're going to go through the ones, get rid of the ones that we don't want anymore. And then it's just, there's just a difficulty in storing them, you know. It's just one of those items that it's like, they're weird and they take up weird room, you know. But that's what's in that box. That whole box is just, not full of them, but that whole box has them in there. And then some pictures that we never hung of, that I had hung in the apartment of my nieces and nephews. This right here is a box of memorable t-shirts that we're going to be making to a quilt, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then this box here is broken china. When we moved here, we had some really cute dishes that got broke, and I was like, oh, mosaic something. So you guys who craft know what I'm talking about. Where do you store broken china until you have enough to do a mosaic? Do you just decide you want to do a mosaic and go buy a dish and break it? Or do you just collect your broken pretty dishes that you can use for a mosaic? So let me know in the comments what you do. And yes, I appreciate you telling me just throw them out there broken. But I do love the beautiful look of the broken mosaic. So I don't know. I have an extra iron. This is a cordless iron. It's okay. It works okay. I got it online once, and it sort of charges on this base. So, you know, I have my iron and my sewing stuff here, which I think I'm going to put in a different basket. I think one of these that matches up there is going to go the iron and stuff. And then all of this right here. Well, here's my garbage can for this room. But all of this right here, including what's holding the iron, are all empty containers. You know, sort of, I mean, there's batting, but these are, I save these bags. I know, I'm such a hoarder, right? I save these bags when I get curtains and stuff, and believe it or not, it's what I pack all of my holiday dish towels in. When I first moved here, I didn't. And the first year, I pulled out my autumn stuff. My pot holders and all stuff were chewed up by mice or whoever, squirrels. I don't really know who chewed it. I didn't do DNA investigation. But what I remembered from 481 was if I put them in here. So anytime you get like little curtains or pillowcases sometimes, or sheets and linens, they come in like these little zipper bags, these little plastic bags. So I keep them in my closet. I think these ones, well, that one's the shower curtain. No, these ones are mine. Because I had gotten some from Aunt Sue too. And then just like as I empty the box and baskets I could use for storage. This used to be my to-be file pile basket. You know, just stuff that I could use. And then everybody needs this little guy is a wolf footstool. Because this used to be the wolf den. Can you see him back there? He's really cute. But he's got a loose leg and he's not really, can't really put your feet up on him. But he's cute. So that's where we're at. Here's the table I never got to show you guys. Do you see how it's got, so this is a Bluetooth speaker plus those are wired speakers because I have iPhone 7 and you can't just plug the thing in. You got to get a special thing, whatever. But Bluetooth is better. So Jimmy let me borrow his Bluetooth speaker last night when we were working. So this little square table hangs on the wall and it's got sort of like a very colonial looking like pole down there. So that's what I was trying to tell you guys the other day about. And that's it. So it is coming along. I can't remember if I was able to tell you guys about, if I said about like, we're not doing any major construction to this room. We're only going to move one more piece of furniture. Somebody had said in a comment that I have 2 craft rooms, but I just wanted to clarify, I do not have 2 craft rooms. Where I was organizing the fabric the other day was the craft room, was where I had my other craft stuff stored, where this table used to be, but it's no longer there anymore. That's what I switched out. This is what we've been doing. We've been turning that room and bringing the stuff in here. So that dresser has not come over yet because we still have to move the desk out, set up the computer for Jim in the living room, or the computer desk in the living room, and then do a little furniture arranging. But that's going to be after we're all done with the rest of this stuff. And for those of you who have asked, I will also mention that I don't, I want to be able to close off the craft room, not close the door to the craft room, but this is, like I said, a secondary guest room, and I want it to be able to just be a few steps to cleaning it up to be peaceful and serene for our guests. So that's why I don't have all open storage. These baskets being laid out like that is probably like as far as I'm going to go for open storage of craft stuff. The craft stuff in these will be in boxes with covers, with labels. The boxes inside of them will be as organized as possible. I'm pretty good at doing that. What else? Yeah, and then the table will also be, when guests come, like it was in there, will be set up with, you know, the guests can sit and, you know, just like if you go to a hotel, the guests can sit and write a letter or work on their laptops, or they'll have a charger here and that kind of stuff. So that's the intention of this room, besides just being a workspace for me. So that's it for tonight. Like I said, I'm going to put away this last 2 boxes of stuff and do these sewing projects. And that's going to be like the big stuff before we go ahead and do all of the rest of the little stuff. I haven't gotten to IKEA yet. We're both still fighting these colds, and IKEA is in St. Louis, which is like almost 2 hours away is the IKEA. And I don't feel up to driving that far still on medicine. I don't think that's a good idea. I drive to the grocery store if I need to around the town. But, and I'm only on Robitussin. I'm not on anything like you shouldn't be driving. But I don't trust me driving and having a coughing fit or anything that far on the interstate. So that is just going to have to wait. That's why we're making do with what we have temporarily. As much as I want it to be finished and pretty and put away, I'm doing what I can temporarily. Okay? So that's it. I want to say if you have any questions, but you guys have been so great. I mean, I really do appreciate all the patience, and you guys are so like, don't worry about it, just get better. But I will, in full disclosure, I've told many of you before, and I'm sure many of you know, this is my job. And just like Jim's job, if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. I know that sounds terrible, and it's a terrible reason to do videos and to have content, but it's not even necessarily about that. So that's what my drive is. My drive is to see you every day and talk to you every day, but my drive is to make sure that I have content up to keep my channel going and interesting and, you know, viewable at least. I am more anxious to get it done than anybody. Like, Jim and I were talking about it, and he's like, oh, yeah. I was like, no, Jim, you have no idea how bad I want this to be done, like, yesterday. He thinks I'm, like, procrastinating, but I just genuinely work until I cannot anymore, like, until my head's like, okay, go lay down or something. Actually, last night, I sat here so long shooting the video and well, I wasn't shooting the video. You see it on the video. Well, anyway, there is a video of it. I basically set the camera up. I got 2 hours worth of video of me sitting here, and the additional hour after I stopped taping, I was sitting here for 3 hours, and I got up and I can barely move my hips, basically. So I was like, oh, don't do that anymore. So I won't do that anymore, I promise. But I'm excited to get back to it, and I'm excited to get back out to the Dollar Tree because there are some things that I already have in my head that I want to get to repurpose and redesign and decorate for you guys, and to create Valentine's Day crafts. And otherwise, I just need to get to the store when they actually have the items. And you guys know how that is too. And I need the temperature to come a little, like today was 54 degrees out, which was gorgeous, but it was so windy. I couldn't do anything with spray paint. Like, today was finally warm enough to spray paint, but so windy, I would hate to spray paint the whole time, so. Plus, I'm not really breathing great to be spray painting, so that too. But anyhow, all right, so if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the below in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know, I often say that. Almost every video I say, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But the thumbs ups really help my channel. What happens when you like a video is the video gets recommended more to other people who like the same types of videos, and then it promotes my channel, really. So if you, not necessarily like this video because it's just me talking about all the stuff that I organized, but if you like, you know, like some of the videos that I do, some DIYs and stuff, if you like them a lot, just go ahead and click that button. And I know sometimes it's hard when you're binge watching to, like, it goes from video to video to video, so to remember to hit the thumbs up is sometimes out of sight, out of mind. But if you do, it really helps me. I appreciate it. And so does sharing. When you share it with your friends, it's sort of like that old, what was it, Fabergé? Was it Fabergé, the commercial? They told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. If you're young, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you're a child of the 60s and 70s, you do. But there was a commercial that, you know, she liked the shampoo, and she told 2 friends, and she told 2 friends, and so on and so on and so on. So word of mouth, basically, it's how it goes. So all of those things help and help the family grow. And you know, if I could keep doing it, I can keep doing it for you. I know that sounds silly, but that's you know, as long as I can still keep afford to doing it, as long as I can keep affording to do it, I will keep doing it for you. Okay? So if I haven't said it yet, as always, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa.